Hey there and welcome back to Sea Power and welcome to Last Resort. Maybe way back in the day, that is 2012-ish, you were watching a show called Last Resort. This is an homage to that show. In that show, there was a nuclear submarine, like a boomer, SSBN. It was ordered to fire on, I think it was Pakistan, and it refused the order. That submarine then took refuge at an island which had a early warning station on it and basically said, this is now sovereign territory of ours, do not approach. The main characters of the show were the crew of that submarine. So let's say the rogue SSBN. This time around we're playing as the other side. We are playing as the US Navy. So here's the briefing. Good morning, Captain. The time has come to clean up your mistake and defend your homeland. As you know, yesterday at approximately 0900 Zulu, the SSGN Franklin, that is Colorado in the show, and its crew, under command of Captain Chaplin, defied authentication orders to fire on Pakistan. Fearing a rogue captain with nukes, your ship was ordered to fire on the vessel. Damaged, the Franklin managed to limp its way south to the island of Santa Marina, the Chacos Archipelago, where its traitorous crew commandeered the NATO early warning station and declared a 200-mile boundary from the island. They've begun raising a local militia to resist us using looted stores of old Cold War equipment and modified local civil vessels and aircraft to patrol their island. Should they detect any foreign vessels within the radius, they will fire their remaining 17 nukes at its country of origin. To prove their conviction, they've already nuked the coast of Washington, D.C. These people are serious. Today is your chance to fix some small part of that. Although we can't approach the island from the surface without being detected, we believe you can sneak in and neutralize the Franklin before they can react and launch another nuke. We've allowed cargo freighters to pass through the blockade, and after a thorough search and supply the island for the moment. Hiding under one, your vessel was able to pass by the island's sonobuoy chains undetected. The mission is now a go, and your objectives are as follows. Remain undetected while you hunt down and destroy the Franklin, and the surface vessels must stay outside the restricted territory. Now, the aircraft carrier Nimitz over here hit a fancy turn. What do we have? What are our assets? We got lots of them. This is a full-blown battle group. And it does say, this is not needed yet. Switch to the Louisville to start. Where is Louis? Holy... Okay. So, here is the island. Here is the island of Santa Marina. And we have a full-blown blockade in effect. These are Arleigh This is, as you might imagine, a modified mission. It is not a stock scenario, although the mod author has also put up a more stock version of it. We are in this exclusion zone, so do not go in. But Louisville can go in. Louisville can sneak in along this freighter. Interestingly, I can't actually detect the freighter yet. Maybe because it's so close. Huh. Okay, so we're gonna have to sneak along this guy. My speed's 5 knots. I don't know what he's doing. Upscope. I need to get some information about the guy. I need to know his course and speed. Ah, hello. Okay, you are my new best friend. Course 330. Course 330. Doing 5 knots, so in about 5 hours he'll be there. And we need to find the Franklin, which is most likely somewhere around the island. We just gotta find it. Whether that submarine has actually been damaged or not, I do not know. I do not know. I don't really like 35 feet. We're gonna go a little bit more distant from that freighter. And we're gonna stream... No, no, no!
Recover the towed array. Sonar eye.
Whoopsie. Are these guys actually inside the island chain? That's interesting. Restricted territory. NATO early warning station. I like these new markers. I haven't seen those before. Why do I not have a towed array on Louisville? What's that about? I do.
Stream the towed array.
I just misclicked, I guess. Okay, this is a modernized LA. So it's an LA Flight 2, and as you can see, we got harpoons of the UGA 84 Delta version, 80 mile range as opposed to 65. We have some Tomahawks, both anti-ship and anti-land. We have Mark 48 at Mark 6 AdCaps, 28 mile range. We have a couple of mobile submarine simulators, and we have 20 noisemakers. All we gotta do now is make sure we do not get detected while we are trying to get the detection on the Colorado. Once we've done that, we should be able to fairly safely engage them, especially if I can use this freighter again for cover, and make sure that that submarine does not pose a threat anymore. Once that is done, I imagine we can start letting loose with the rest of the ships here, and the aircraft carrier. Now, seeing as supposedly they do have some ability to detect my ships, I am not going to risk ships or aircraft sending into this area, because I think that might cause a mission failure.
Hostile surface contact
Oh, we got
detected.
hostile surface contacts. What are those? We know that they are hostile fishing boats. Okay, interesting. I did have to install a mod that said armed fishing boat. So I guess that these are the, well, militarized locals that we're starting to see. I'm wondering what their capabilities are. Can we have a look? Surface ships? Fishing vessel? I don't know. Not those. Side trawler? Nope. It'd be hilarious if you put a 5-incher on a dhow. I don't think that would fit. What armed fishing boats are these? Not a submarine tender either, not a corvette, not a Ro-Ro. I don't know, we'll just have to see what those things turn out to be once we get closer. Oh, it's a T-43. Oh, you're something else. You are definitely not a fishing boat, but this guy is. What are you armed with? Speak. Yeah, there it is. ZU-23. Okay. Yeah. This is a typical small-sized coaster trolley hastily converted into a patrol boat. That is pushing it. And this patrol boat has a top speed of a whole 11 knots. The T-43 is a slightly bigger threat, as it has depth charges. It does, however, not really have the capabilities of detecting me that well, because its Hercules hull-mounted sonar has a range of 6 miles passive, 4 active. So I don't really consider this guy to be that big of a deal. Well, he is actively pinging, so I'll grant him that much. As for the rest, I'm not sure if these are further hostile merchants, or if these are neutrals. So we'll have to get closer and identify them eventually. As for the range, it's 200 miles. I could send up an E2C. I doubt it would really give me more information. But as long as I can keep it outside of that zone, maybe I can still get some info. And these are the modernized E2Cs from 1992. Let's see. Can we get some more information about their radar? The Bear Aces. Air search, surface search, 378 miles. We might just get some slightly better picture from those. So I'll send one of those up. I doubt they really have much radar capability. So sending up an EA6, I doubt it's going to be very useful. Let's just get that E2C in the air. Fly it closer towards, let's say, the western flank of that exclusion zone. And then have a look with the radar. New submerged submarine detected. That's a long-ass detection range. 58 miles? It has to be Louisville. I don't have anything else there. They're doing 13 knots in a course of 185, 186, 187. They're changing course. Turning slightly southwest. Depth is increasing. I guess we picked them up over convergence zones, because I really can't think of any other way we can detect them like that. Bear. Yeah, you're still climbing. Your ETA is about 40 minutes from now. Okay, so I'm going to mark his last known. And he is still changing course. So it's not like I can easily draw a plot where he's going to go. Changing west. Lost him. If he's doing 18 knots, he's going to be very fast. Okay, let's draw a couple of rain circles from there. So he's going to be potentially here in 1 hour. That's quite the search area. Quite the search area. Okay. Well, all I gotta do now is just follow my escort and see if we can pick him up again. We have an interesting development. Louisville over here, still with the merchant, has detected a submarine. I thought, okay, the boomer has moved up. We first detected it there, now it's moved here. Actually, it's something else. It's an albacore or a Daphne. A Daphne is an old French submarine, an albacore is a patrol submarine. Both of these are carrying the E-15 and the L3. The E-15 is a passive sonar homing torpedo with a range of 8 miles, and the L3 can only do 2.8 miles anti-submarine. So these weapons are vastly outdated and should not be any kind of a problem for Louisville. What could be a problem is the presence of the submarine, because they can still serve as a sensor platform and can still cause detection issues. I might need to take this submarine out. The good news is, if this is indeed such an old submarine, it does not seem to have a towed array. It has a hull-mounted sonar with a passive range of nothing and an active range of 10, and it has the hull-mounted sonar with a passive range of 10 and an active range of nothing. So essentially 2 sensors with a range of 10 kilometers. I'm not sure why they put the weapon range in kilometers instead of miles, but okay. It's a Daphne. It has been identified. Okay, so show me what your situation is. You're coming down from Periscope. Were you snorkeling? It's a patrol for the French Navy. An export. Okay, small diesel electric subs. Yep. They're only doing 3 knots. That's very much consistent with the diesel electric. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. I now get to decide how I want to play this. I could try and change my speed and get in their baffles. Get in their dark zone where they cannot detect me. On the other hand, that might get me the award of being detected by the actual boomer, which is, well, somewhere inside that area where we last detected them. That's not really what I want. I'm gonna go with the safe option, stay with the merchant. And in the meanwhile, we're getting a clearer picture about whatever's in here, and it's a lot of hostile units. I really do like what the creator did here with the port and then these anchored... this thing is mostly anchored. Anchored ships here. Moored. One is another one of those armed fishing boats. We got another one over there in the bay. And it seems that we have even a bog hammer over there. They really activated basically whatever else they could find. There's the fishing boat. There's still 4 aircraft that we can see. All getting detected by the radar from the Bear. Which is just doing loops back and forth. Because I don't have anything else to do for it. Nevertheless, this is giving me an interesting picture. Once the boomer is dead, I'm expecting to go weapons free on a couple of Arleigh-Burkes. And we can probably level this place in little to no time. We can start sending a couple of the... Oh, actually, we got land attack Tomahawks. We do not have the short... Whoa! Never mind. This is the Standard Missile 2 ER. The extended range, so we got a 200-mile range. Which means... I can start hitting targets. Not this plane, potentially, because I don't have the line of sight to it. But if I close the distance a little bit, maybe we can get some work done. We also got the 90-mile range. Any of these Arleigh-Burkes or something else? Like a standard and ship Tomahawk? No, you got harpoons, but that's the wrong version. Tomahawk. Tomahawk C. These are all flight 1s and 2s. We got the Harpoon L. Oh, 150-mile range. I like it. I haven't even looked at the carrier yet. Because this is a 1989 version of the carrier. So what sort of gear are we going to be packing on those birds? I don't really care about the F-14s, but just for info, I'll pull them up. AIM-54C, 100 mile range. The rest of them aren't that interesting. We're going to get access to A6. What you get? Access to the AGM-84 Delta, 120 mile range harpoon. Nice. AGM-84 Echo, 55 mile range harpoon with a TV camera guidance. Okay. Infrared CV seeker. Why would I want to pick the Echo over the Delta? The Delta has 120 mile range. This has 55 mile range. I'm not sure. This seems to have terrain guidance. There is nothing about terrain guidance here. So maybe the terrain guidance is their most important new feature. And that's going to allow them to just skim over the island and hit things on the other side of it. EA6, get access to the AGM-88 Alpha, 80 mile harm. That's a very nice range. And I think the rest is just F-14s, E7, sorry, A7. Yeah, it's not that interesting. AGM-62 is that walleye. Okay. So yeah, we can definitely lay waste to this place as long as that boomer is gone. We need to keep trailing this Daphne. Oh, they're turning around. That little plan of mine wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have been able to sneak up on them. Okay, fine. Now, I really want to know where this boomer is, somewhere inside this circle. I'm expecting them to be somewhere here along this axis if they maintained their course, and that's not a given. How far am I? I'm expected to arrive there in 10 hours from now. Good lord. Okay, grab a coffee. We'll be right back. A few hours later, I've detected another submerged submarine. It's over there, close to the island. I'm assuming that is our target. That's Franklin. However, we still... Yeah, that's the Franklin, alright. We still have to get through the other one. And the other one's becoming a bit of a problem. Because I am now about 11 to 12 miles range from its last known position, and I'm not detecting it anymore. I don't like that, not one bit. So what I'm going to do is stop.
I'll stop. Maneuvering eye.
I'm going to lose my merchant. I'm going to not care for the merchant, because the merchant's kind of blocking me right now. It's making it very difficult to detect where that submarine is. What I'm also going to do is change my depth. I'm going to go below the layer.
My depth. 3, 9,
Where is the
6.
layer? At 395. We might pick him up there.
0, 3, 5.
If we can, that'd be great, because I still need to torpedo him.
Submerged submarine.
Yeah. 7035 is most likely the Franklin. Unless they hijacked another LA somewhere, but I doubt that. I don't have him. At 1/3.
Head 1/3.
I'm going to make 5 knots. I'm going to trail this freighter at a slightly longer range, about 0.6 mile range now. And interestingly, despite him being ahead of me, I can still detect this one. And confidence is very good. Now, let's say it's the Franklin. They got Mark 48 Mod 6 just like me. So we're very even in range. I can see how that would be a problem. Hull-mounted sonar, the BQS-4. And they also got the BQR-21. That's the passive range 23 miles. What do I have? I have access to the BQQ-5, which has a slightly better passive range of 25. Then again, if I was detected, I would probably know about it, because the moment you get detected, I believe the mission fails. So that is proof that we have not yet been detected. In his case, it doesn't help that he's traveling at 18 knots. He is getting close, though. He's actually at 27 mile range, so that does put him in weapons range, which is going to make this all the more interesting. Because we're going to start launching torpedoes at this guy. Most likely a spread of 4. Well, maybe 3. Because I'm going to say roleplay, this thing needs to go in one go. Otherwise, it can still surface and launch. But if I launch 4 torpedoes, I'm going to be sitting anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes reloading my tubes. Which means, if that Daphne shows up at point blank range, I don't have an answer to her. So, I can really only engage with 3 torpedo tubes. They're still apparently at a course of 258, so southwest, almost west. Depth 420. Let's go back above the layer.
Make my depth.
I'm gonna go above the layer to see if that
Dive
diesel
aye.
electric is still running around here.
Surface. Contacts detected.
Now, we're detecting a lot of contacts here, including an airbase. Which is weird, because I'm detecting an airbase, so a structure on land, on sonar. I think this is because the island somehow doesn't fully work as an island. Let me try and show you. There's the airbase. That is what I'm detecting. With sonar. I don't quite know how. But maybe it's a really loud airbase. I don't know. When it comes to Louisville, I have access to another weapon system, which is the Moss. So I can send a decoy out and pretend to come in from a different angle. The challenge with that one is, I have to sacrifice a torpedo tube to do it. And I only have 4 tubes. So well, I'd like to use one. But at the same time, it might give them more cause for concern. It might give them more reason to go, hold up. We have an unidentified submarine in the area. And they're going to surface and still launch the nukes. I wouldn't be detected, but the end result would still be the same. So unacceptable. Decision time. I have finally, and it took me a long time, reacquired what I believe to be the Daphne. She's doing 3 knots, heading northeast. Range, 8 miles. Do I want her dead or not? I got this close, and she's heading away from me, so we've already had the point of closest approach. In that case, arguably she isn't that big of a deal. But, if I start launching torpedoes at, well, wherever the other submarine is,
7-0-4-1.
she might hear it.
Hostile
I don't want that.
submarine.
So yes, I will send a torpedo after it. Probably 2. And hope that I can approach the submarine from its dead side. Which is not going to be easy. I gotta launch now.
Roger that.
Right now.
Whip it away.
She's already turning to port. We're going to stick with 1 torpedo. These are Mark 48 ATCAPs. So I'm pretty confident they'll be capable torpedoes. She's changing north. Torpedo tube reloading. 15 minutes. 14 left. I'm gonna try and get this torpedo as far east as possible and then approach from their rear, because that's where they're weakest. I don't know where the other submarine is yet. No idea. We keep seeing aircraft flying around. Beyond that, it's not that special. Yeah. This is Bear 2. I've already replaced Bear 1. Bear 2 is also going to need to get replaced, considering that she's running out of fuel, just like Bear 1 was. The good news about this Mark 48 is that I have tons of fuel. This thing has a lot of longevity. So ideally, I'm going to keep her undetected as long as possible. They are above the layer? Layer depth, 307. My torpedo is above the layer. And is doing 65 knots. Fast boy. They're now at a course of 295, changing west. At this point, I would be surprised if they're not aware of the torpedo. But they're not showing indication that they are. Even if they do shoot back with an L3, they got a range of 2.8. Right, what are you going to do? There. That's the return fire rate. I think they're set to patrol here, like southwest, northeast, back and forth. That's all they appear to be doing. Torpedo is still passive. I wonder if we're going to see a snapshot from the Daphne firing back along the line of bearing of the Mark 48. I wonder if they'll do that. At this point he has to be really deaf not to be aware of the torpedo. 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. Let's turn it loose. Engage. Screw the baffles. We're going directly for you. Torpedo has seemingly locked on. Noisemaker. There we go. What? New submerged submarine. Negative. That's a noisemaker from 7041. Disregard. And there's a torpedo. Yep, fired back along the line of bearing. This is where they think I'm at. They're wrong. And now I'm definitely going to hit their baffles. They fire 2 L3s in a snapshot. And I think they came out of the stern tubes. Interesting. Poor thing doesn't stand a chance. Yep, stern tubes. Boom. Most likely, a death sentence. Most likely. But we're not complete confirmed on that yet. I just hope they don't have a... And this is again a bit more roleplay. I don't they have a radio buoy saying we're under attack. Because in that case, the other submarine might still be able to launch. 705, 7044, and 7045 classifies hostile torpedoes. Running at 25 knots due south. Which is not where I'm at. Not a problem. Now where's the other guy at? Where's our real target? Because supposedly, if he's still around here, let's say he headed slightly southwest, he's about 16 miles out, which means I have range on him. And he on me. And that's concerning. New submerged submarine. He's all the way north. Or at least something is. It's doing 16 knots, slowing down. Curious. This guy gets around. I know you don't want to be predictable. This is something else, though. This is something else. He's also coming up to 110. For no particular reason. I suspect that's the Franklin. 704. And that puts me at 23-mile range. If that's the Franklin, she cannot outrun a torpedo. She's too big. Her top speed's 21 knots. 21. 21. They cannot outrun. So I don't have to worry about the fact that they'll use that distance in order to run away. Especially not from a 65 knot torpedo. That's going to be almost impossible. Seem to be nice and solid on their course. I am going to go below the layer.
Make my depth.
Layer is at 325. Actually, 307. I'm going to launch from below the layer to try and conceal as much noise as possible. I'm going to send 3 torpedoes at it. And I might need to straight line these, which is not ideal, but it's the situation we find ourselves in right now.
Roger that. Roger that.
3 torpedoes.
Whip it away.
There's 2.
Whip it away.
And there's 3. Okay. Good hunting, boys. Now I'm going to go back above the layer to try and keep an eye on them.
5, 6.
I'm going to keep these torpedoes just on passive as long as I possibly can. Just run to enable as long as possible. If you turn this green line and set it, for example, there, this is when the torpedoes are going to start searching and go active. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to just sail this whole distance. And given it's doing that at 65 knots, it really won't take them that long. They're closing in on the submarine quick. Franklin does have a hefty displacement of 8,250 tons, which is also why I've sent 3 torpedoes after it. They're going up to periscope depth, 44 feet, holding. That's good, because my torpedoes are below the layer. We got confirmation. 7046 is the Franklin. She is, for some unknown reason, at periscope depth. And she has her towed array out. So her capabilities of detection are good. Her capabilities of escape are not.
Decoy out.
She knows. She knows. And there's a torpedo. She's sending that right back along the line of bearing. Louisville, change course.
0,
Increase to 2/3.
and 2/3.
Go below the layer.
Make my depth. 3.
This might cause me to lose that submarine.
Water. Bearing.
So I'm going to tell this thing to lock onto the Franklin. That means I cannot control that torpedo anymore. You're going to head northeast, relative. You're going to head southwest, relative. They sent a full spread of Mark 48s my way. But they don't know where to. Hold on. Do you not have the better torpedoes yet? No, you got the Steyr Mark 48s at 20 miles. Wait, 1. Does that put me outside of your range? Barely. Barely. 21 mile range is what I'm at. So yes, those Mark 48s are outside of range. Thank God they didn't get the ATCABs yet, because that would have been a bit more of a challenge. The question is, now that I have... Well, I haven't fully been detected. But... I'm not exactly in the clear either. They know that there's something out there. So, if this Franklin wants to stick to the plot, it could surface and start launching ballistic missiles at the US. It could. It's not doing it at present, but it could. They're also turning tail. Okay, we're gonna go deep.
Make my depth. 6, 3, 6.
I'm gonna increase to a head standard.
Head standard.
I'm gonna head northeast.
0, 2, 4. Hell
I don't want to head ahead full, because they're running at 20 knots. I can keep up at 20 knots easily. In fact, I can go faster than that. My top speed is 37 with a flight 2. And seeing as he's running away, he's not that likely to be able to detect me at all. As for whether these torpedoes will get there, I doubt that. I kind of doubt that. I'm not sure if I can locate him again. Oh crap, did I lose them? I lost them. Okay, so we're gonna have to hope that these things actually find the target by themselves. This one's sort of dialed in on the Franklin. These two are not, so they're gonna start searching, which will mean they'll take a lot of time in order to try and find the target, and thus a lot of fuel. I don't think they'll get it, but we'll see. A little later, situation looks like this. We have a noisemaker here, or in fact 2, and they just got launched by the Franklin here. I'm not too sure whatever happened to my torpedo, because I do not believe I hit them. But maybe the game missed it, because the other Mark 48 is still active, and then we got the other Mark 48 Mod 6 up there. The enemy Mark 48s are coming in. Louisville is southeast of them. I doubt it'll be much of a problem, but I'm heading northeast just to be sure. I'm going to send another torpedo in his direction.
Roger that.
Good job, Captain. The Franklin is sinking to the bottom. Okay, I guess that one torpedo did hit him. With any luck, most of the traders were on board. However, there are still some left behind, manning the dated NATO equipment and radar station on the island. Seeing as your sub is the only asset within 200 miles, you're ordered to raise to periscope depth, mark targets for cruise missiles and bomber strikes. The entirety of the island is to be considered hostile. Make sure to mark targets for follow-up strikes if needed. Civilian casualties are acceptable. Okay, turn old surface ships weapons free. Yes, sir. And they do exactly nothing. Nothing? Nothing. That might have to do with my settings. Player units auto-attack surface targets and weapons free. And they're still not doing anything. Okay then, fine. Give me a burst of Tomahawks going for that. We can't detect the airbase anymore. Oh, good lord. Okay, fine. We'll do this the hard way. Bear, get in there.
Turn 1, 1.
Actually, you go back home. Bear 1 gets in there. Start detecting things. Start looking for targets. We're gonna get the F-14s involved from Nimitz. We're gonna start hunting things down. We have F-14s from 1990, air-to-air long range. I doubt it. Air-to-air intercept, giving me 4 Phoenix missiles a pop. I'll take 2 flights of 2. And then it's just gonna be hunting down surface contacts. I think for Louisville they're kind of too close already. At least for the Tomahawk B. 25 miles, that's too close. And raising the periscope depth isn't really gonna help me out that much. I do still have access to the harpoons.
Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water.
Come again?
Bearing 1, 2, 2.
Oh, you're probably detecting that guy. Don't worry about it. For those interested, to our southeast, yes, the Daphne did go down to 1 torpedo. She's now 11,911 feet down. I don't think her designers were really planning on having her sub go that deep. I doubt she'll come back up either. Okay, what are we gonna need to strike this island, as well as these surface ships? Well, A6s. A6s for the surface ships. Anti-ship. Yeah, I think anti-ship heavy is just still the safest option. I'll get a couple of wings of 2. And then for the surface base. Do we get a strike heavy? Or do you get a strike heavy? We get an anti-ship heavy. Strike precision. I don't really believe in throwing rock eyes at an airbase. I don't think it does a whole lot. Paveways? Now we're getting somewhere. Strike precision. Okay, we're gonna take 4 of those. And just eliminating a bunch of armed fishing vessels is a bit cruel. But hey, they're considered hostile units, and as such, are fair game. Unfortunately, I'm not detecting anything. Slow back down to 1/3. Start detecting targets for me. We've got all these, well, hungry early birds. Hold on. The perimeter is now clear, right? I can just push in with all these ships. Oh, we got 2 bunker hills. That's a 2003 version of the VO. Ooh. Okay. Oh crap, now I gotta tell all of these people to go ahead flank. We're gonna secure this island in a hurry. Good lord. Should have done that before. Get in there. Weapons free. Any hostile detected contact, free to engage it. Head flank. At 7 knots, it'll take you way too long to get in there. Expected time 15:03. That's 3 hours from now. Oh, then again, it's an exclusion zone of 200 miles, so I guess it will take them a little bit. By that time, probably the aircraft from the Nimitz will have flattened the place. That's fine. Alright, how are we doing? Fast Eagle 1. Go to 20,000. And consider everything hostile here. Over here we also got Fast Eagle 3. You're going to take the southeastern perimeter. Go to 35. Air search on. Then we get access to Raygun 1, armed with harpoons. 84 deltas, so 80 mile. No, 120 mile range. 120 mile range. One of these guys has a torpedo inbound. Nah, don't worry about it. I don't think they'll hit you, unless they got some extreme range. Yeah, I'm gonna move some pieces into position, because this is just gonna be a bit of flight time. Well, this is unfortunate. You remember that merchant? The merchant that I snuck along with? Yeah. The Mark 48s from the enemy sub, the Franklin, actually struck it and eliminated it. I was like, hold on. That wasn't my weapon. No, it was not my weapon. It was theirs, and they killed it. Really unfortunate, but, well, to some extent, it served its purpose. And I'm glad it did. So unfortunately, that thing is no longer with us. Now, let's start sending harpoons here, there, there. I think their anti-submarine capability, if any, is going to be extremely negligible. Give me ESM and periscope. Let's see if anybody's radiating. There's one. There's the smoke plume from the destroyed merchant vessel. The F-14s are now rushing in. Arleigh Burke, I don't think you'll have good range on this yet. On paper, you got fantastic range. In practice, you first need to be able to get a line of sight onto the target. Anything else I want to hit? Yeah, this guy, I think. Feels like cruelty to small ships, this one. Sending harpoons against fishing vessels and the likes. Then again, if they're repurposed to be armed patrol vessels, that now makes them a valid target. There are a few things around here, though, that I'm not 100% are hostile. So I gotta be a bit careful with those. Also, this guy, behind the bay, I cannot engage him, not yet. Yeah, sorry, son. There's no way you're getting through that. Hit. 7056. The other one is going for, I think, the fishing vessel behind it. And then we got the third one going for the fishing vessel northeast. Oh, we got a tube reloading. Right, it's from the last torpedo, from the last fish that I sent out against Franklin. And up you go. And down. Oh, that was the bog hammer. Emphasis was. Why is there a Soviet merchant vessel here? Sorry, Soviet? Nope. I'm not sure if this is friendly or not, but it's considered... I think it's Chinese. I believe civilian casualties are acceptable, so we can let loose. Sorry if you were neutral. Sorry. A strike on the airfield, or airstrip might be more suitable, is now inbound. We have a couple of Tomahawks going after it. I think for a smaller airstrip... What the hell? Okay, I was not expecting countermeasures. That's interesting. Look at all that! I had no idea they had this much anti-air capability on the island. That'll make things more interesting. Also, we're apparently hitting lots of things, except for the airstrip. Now, as they have this much anti-air, well, I wasn't really planning on sending EA-6s over, but we might need to send those anyway. As our aircraft approach the island with their radars active, we're seeing a lot of stuff down there. And unfortunately, not really that much stuff that I can easily target, because we're only picking them up on radar. We don't have them on visual yet. And they're not radiating. So, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to actually get some good looks, let alone try and eliminate these things. I can and am putting Louisville closer to try and get some visual detection with her, but she's still a little bit ways out. Maybe at this range of 10 miles I could detect something, but I doubt it. I kind of doubt it. I do have something semi-small over here, which is a trawler. I'm not sure if it's a neutral or a not. Like, we're flying over this area, and I still can't really make out a whole lot. It's such a densely packed place.
New ground contact detected.
No, jam in this direction, please. I don't know why the game seems to think that these things are all the way over there. That makes no sense. What I need is either an RA-5 or a helicopter capable of detecting things. I, however, believe we cannot launch an RA-5 off of an air... Well, actually we can. My bad, I should have sent a couple of these guys along. Completely forgot about those. I thought they were land-based aircraft only. Good lord. How am I supposed to start hitting something if it keeps moving? Reagan 5. You got your radar active, search radar. That is surface search radar as well.
New ground contact detected.
Even these things keep jumping around. Come on, game. Give me something to work with here. For some reason, we cannot even get a radiation or a radio hit on the airbase.
New ground contact detected.
Oh, we're jamming the dead industry. Well, that's a relief.
New surface contact
Okay, what you got
detected.
there? Visual, very large. Consider hostile. Ray gun. We're going to laze that.
Engage track.
I want to have one of the ray guns split
7, 1,
off
0.
and use that one as the actual unit that goes after it. So, laze it.
Weapon error. No track assigned.
Yes, yes. Laze it.
Engage track.
Throw a
7,
paveway at it.
1. Weapon error. No track assigned.
Whoa!
New ground contact detected.
That's anti-air units. I think they're going after Rook here. Yeah. They're really not enjoying the presence of Rook.
Roger. Turn 2 4 4. Roger.
Ray gun 8.
Turn 1 7 0.
Engage. 7110. Got another something over there. Leave the formation.
Roger. Turn 1 2.
Laze that.
Engage track.
Bomb
7.
that.
Engaging track. 7.
Got bombs
0,
away.
7 1.
From ray gun 10. No, ray gun 8 here. I'm flying directly over target.
Track.
What exactly are we going to hit?
784 is classified. Hostile building.
Where the hell is that going?
7085 is classified. Hostile building.
The hell? I suppose you were
Contact detected.
losing your laser lock or something? Okay then. Nice work.
On station.
We even have it on visual.
Engage track 7 1.
Get it.
1 0. Engage track 7 1 1 0.
I really like the premise of this mission. I really despise the way that we're handling it right now, with all of these contacts just jumping all over the place. It's not the fault of the mission, it's the fault of the game. Because I'm simply not able to engage things accurately. Not if the game keeps jumping around with contacts all over the place. Even this semi-small visual thing keeps jumping around,
Roger. Turn
which makes very little sense.
3 2 2.
Also, whatever those hawks were, I'm not so sure where they are now. And another one into the water. What the hell? We're lasing them. What's the problem?
On station. Roger.
Sometimes this game can be a touch frustrating.
3 8.
Anyway, the premise of the mission I think is nice. You got a hostile rogue submarine, a boomer that was able to, well, at least throw one nuke as a warning. And you gotta sneak up and eliminate it, which we did. So I hope you guys enjoyed the mission. Link down below in the description so that you can download it and play it for yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for more.